Okay, hello and welcome. This is another Super Mario Kart Time Trial One Try Tournament matchup. We're in Division 1 Group B, and it's a matchup between Antistar, who is the world number 4 and previous world number 1, and McNuggets, who is currently ranked number 40 in the world in time trials. So Antistar has a pretty big advantage when it comes to one try tournaments. He's been going to the Super Mario Kart World Championships many years now, and he has 2 gold medals from the time trial one try tournament there, last winning it 2 years ago in 2018. So on past form, Antistar is not just the favourite for this match, he's probably favourite for the entire tournament. I think Antistar and KVD probably the 2 standout players of the entire tournament. However, players like Aaron Langerac, the world number 5, Guillermo Rantes, who you just saw beating Jarmu on that day, can give anyone a race for their money and even take the victory. For McNuggets, this might be a difficult match. Taking tracks off of somebody of Antistar's raw ability is going to be difficult. I think his best strategy really is to keep it safe and pounce on any mistakes that Antistar makes. This all assumes that Antistar has actually put in any practice at all. If anybody caught his test stream a few days ago, you all know that he wasn't looking particularly good then. He's not really been doing much time trialing at all for the last 4 years, but when SMK players tell you they haven't been practicing, take it with a pinch of salt. So first track is what's known as the Whale Shark of SMK. Known as the Whale Shark because, like the Whale Shark, this is the longest track in the game. You see a crash by Antistar there. The fastest way around this track is to actually go underneath some thwomps, though whether the thwomps are up or down is complete RNG. So quite often in one tries you'll see people going around the thwomps rather than risking having one drop down on the head. And another big crash by Antistar. Looks like we're just syncing up the 2 players. So coming to the end of the end of third lap, it looks like about a 3-second lead to Antistar at the moment. So one more mistake and McNuggets will be right back in this one. Coming around 1 lap to go. It still looks like a 2 or 3-second lead to Antistar. And Nuggets hanging onto the coattails here. Any mistake and he can pounce. Let's see if Antistar's going to risk hopping over the lavas at the end. Okay, hops the first 2, bounces the second 2. The second 2 are 1 tile gap wider than the first 2. So first track is going to go to Antistar. That puts him 1-0 up. We're going to be playing through all 20 tracks. We're going to be playing through them in a random order. Every single track will count because this tournament, the groups are not decided on win and losses between the players, but total track wins across all your matches. So every single track counts. And it looks like we're going to Ghost Valley 1. There's a platform jump at the end of a lap which saves about 1 second. It's incredibly difficult to do, but in his normal 1 tries, Antistar does do it on 1 lap. Let's see if he drives around safely or whether he's going to go for that platform jump probably on lap 5. And we'll see whether McNuggets goes for a platform jump as well. So pretty close between the 2 of them still. Looks like Antistar's out to about a half-second lead at the moment. Yes, we finished the 3rd lap. It still looks about a half second between the two of them. Neither going for the platform jump on lap 4. We move into the final lap. So McNuggets is within a successful platform jump, and now he's no longer within a successful platform jump range. But Antistar is going for the platform jump, and he's missed it. This is going to be enough for McNuggets to take the point. So I have to give props for Antistar for going for the platform jump. He does it every single time he plays this in a one try. He has an insane ability to usually land it, but this time he found his way into the void, and we're tied up at 1 point each. And we go on to Vanilla Lake 1. It's kind of the garbage can track of SMK, because it's just littered with litter everywhere. You got the track. It should be nice. It's just a bit of ice and a bit of snow, but then somebody went and threw loads of ice blocks on it, a random load of pipes just in the middle of a track, and it is a bit of a dumpster of a track. Not many people like it too much. So McNuggets round lap 2 in about 25 seconds. Antistar is quite a long way behind. Good 5 seconds behind here. So there are semi-safe one-try strats you can do by just taking out a few ice blocks on lap 1. Not what Antistar was doing when he was just dead stop banging into a whole load of ice blocks. But Antistar's caught right back up there, desynced on the start, but I think there's less than half a second between them. Oh, crashed by both. I think it's enough still for Antistar to take this one. Yeah. Yeah, a horrible opener from Antistar, but sub 10 on lap 4. That's a fantastic time, to be honest. I believe lap 4 that Antistar drove actually tied McNuggets' fast lap PR at 9:99. So 2-1 Antistar, and we're moving on to MC4 and a missed zoom start from Antistar. For people who've done time trials probably thousands and thousands and thousands of times, you still see even the best missing the zoom start. It's quite a generous window, actually. You get 8 frames in which to start accelerating. The only problem is it's kind of in the middle between the first and second lights. It's not like you go on any particular light. You have to see the light, wait a little bit, and then go. So you are kind of blind guessing it without any real audio or visual cue. So it is still possible to miss it, but you would expect both players to get the majority of their zoom starts. So at the moment it looks like McNuggets has dropped a few boosts there. So boosting is a technique which allows you to have a small increase of speed, but it's not the small increase of speed that gives boosts the power. It's the fact that when you're in a boost state, you can drive off-road without any speed loss, which is how you see these players driving through the sand and maintaining full speed rather than slowing down massively. You do that quite similar to how you generate mini turbos in the other Super Mario Karts by power sliding for just over a second. However, these players are using a technique called MBT, new boost technique, discovered like 16 years ago now, so the new isn't necessarily relevant anymore, where we trick the game into thinking we're in one long power slide when in reality we're driving in straight line, and that's what allows the players to get these straight line boosts. So we see Antistar now to a 3-1 lead. Missed the zoom start, but had very good laps 2 to 5. So, waiting to find out what the next track's going to be. These players are only finding out what track they're about to play just before they're about to play it. They have a tournament ref dishing them out the tracks one by one in a random order. And it looks a bit like we've gone straight from MC4 to MC3. MC3 is one of the most painful tracks to play. Because of the constant boosting, it's really, really hard on the hands. And especially if you're grinding out time trials on this, like playing the track over and over and over, the hardest thing for me to deal with is hand cramping up around lap 4 and lap 5. As we see, it looks like Antistar's going pretty much full boosting at the moment. Not missing anything out. He's got a little bit of time to make up though. Like, ooh. And now they're neck and neck. And those little extra boosts which Antistar's doing has just moved him ahead slightly here. And Nuggets going for the NTSC style boost. So we're playing currently on the PAL version of the game, what is known as the harder of the two versions. The PAL version isn't just the NTSC version running slower, they completely rework the game engine and physics. And acceleration in PAL is absolutely horrific, which is what makes this version so hard. Any mistake you make gets punished a lot heavier than if you were playing on NTSC. Simply because of just awful acceleration in PAL. So, you want to get good at PAL? Don't crash. Simple. And we get a 132 from Antistar, coming back from a bad opener to take a fairly comfortable win in the end and move 4-1 ahead. So Antistar has been playing Super Mario Kart pretty much since the beginning of time. I think he was there right at the beginning of the World Championship era in the early 2000s. McNuggets is newer to the community. I believe he played a lot of Super Mario Kart back in the day, but he only joined the time trial community about 18 months or so. If I recall correctly, November 2018. He PR'd for every single week during 2019, and having that 52 weeks of PRs in a row won him the Player of the Year award for Super Mario Kart Time Trials, and he's currently now ranked at number 40 in the world. So McNuggets has been climbing up the charts. Antistar, previously world number 1, is now currently ranked world number 4. And is on an opposite trajectory since he's played very, very little in the last few years. So he's just slowly getting passed by the odd player now and again. And I believe the next player to pass him is going to be Aaron Langerak, a player who you saw in the opening match of the tournament against KGR. These two players are both in the same group, so we will see a matchup between the world number 4 Antistar and the world number 5 Aaron Langerak. And by the time they play, who knows who will be the world number 4 and who will be the world number 5. Oh! Last corner! Last corner, he had it. What a gift! What a gift! McNuggets moves up to 2 points. So McNuggets had an absolutely stellar DP1. A 114 for him. I mean, very, very good. Antistar was probably around 112 pace, like faster than McNuggets PR sort of thing. But he crashed on the last corner, and because McNuggets has stayed in range, he picks up the point. And that is really what McNuggets needs to do, is just stay in range of Antistar, so that when he does make a mistake, you're there ready to pounce and take those points. Because every point matters in this competition. So I see a kind of question in chat about the players. DK and Bowser are identical. They have the same top speed, the same acceleration, the same handling. They are essentially this same kart, just with a different sprite over the top of it. And DK Bowser... Ooh, I'm not sure what's going on here. It looks like we had a late start by Antistar and McNuggets has paused. So this is going to be one for the referee to sort out. So yeah, DK and Bowser are both identical and they are both the fastest. So there are four character classes in this game. You have the heavyweights, which is DK and Bowser, who are the fastest, but with the worst handling and worst acceleration. Then you have the middleweights, which is Mario and Luigi, who are a little slower, but have slightly better acceleration and handling. Then you have the Yoshi Princess, who are slightly slower still, but have the best acceleration, but some really skittish handling. And then you have a lightweight Scooper Toad, who have the lowest top speed of all, but by far the tightest turning handling and the second best acceleration. So I'm going to wait and see what happens with the referee decision here, but a 106.60 on a one try by Antistar. That is probably right around McNuggets PR. I'm fairly sure McNuggets PR is somewhere in the mid to high 106s. But we'll wait and see what happens here. So, while we're on a little bit of a downtime, let's post some links in chat. Follow the runners. We have Twitch TV/Antistar for Antistar and Twitch TV/McNuggets. It's not actually Twitch TV/McNuggets. He's Sparks F1 in Twitch. You want to give me a follow? You can give me a follow. I mostly play online battle modes these days against another person who's in this tournament, Yorkshire SMK. And if you want to know a little bit more about the competition, go check out the challenge page or the schedule. And if you look at the stream itself, you can see mariokartplayers.com/smk. That'll take you to the time trial website. And there's also the code for the Discord link, and the ffsmk.org website is the home of the SMK World Championships. So you want to watch some really hot multiplayer Super Mario Kart action from the last 15 years. There's hundreds and hundreds of championship videos there. So I'm going to assume that Antistar got that point and give him the point, unless I get a message from the ref to say otherwise. But it looks like we're moving on to MC1. And both players do go at the same time here. This is a deceptively simple track. Mostly because you're doing so many boosts that one missed boost, which is quite easy to do if you just don't quite wiggle enough or don't center your angular momentum during the release, then you'll slow down through the sand, lose a whole bunch of time. When I say center your angular momentum, basically SMK is a game about managing angular momentum. So you see when these guys are generating a boost, that boost will only release when the kart is in a neutral position. So you power slide for just over a second, and then as soon as the kart goes neutral again, the boost will release. But it takes a certain time for the kart to go neutral if you just leave it. So what you'll see the players do is a counter hop. So when the boost is ready to go, they'll hop and tap in the opposite direction. That resets the kart's angular momentum, and wow, 59.30, that is A fantastic one try. Not quite as good as we saw from Aaron, who had a 59.12 a couple of days ago, but a 59.30 is still absolutely top draw. Oh, I'm hoping that's just a console reset. Okay, I think we might have a forfeit going on. Okay, just waiting to find out exactly what's happening. If the tournament admin is watching and can let us know what's going on with this one, it would be very appreciated. But even if this is a forfeit, it is not going to be the last SMK action of the night. There's another match on the hour. That's going to be between Goomba and Owl and Fire. That's going to be a Division 2 Group B match. It should be quite entertaining. So that's scheduled to start in about 35 minutes or so. And there's another Division 2 match later on today at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. And that's between Flanders and Ideas_XO. So if you do want to know when the upcoming matches are, there is a schedule on the link I just posted there. So I think what we're going to see is probably Antistar going through each of the tracks, demonstrating the one try technique, and I'll assign him the points as we go along. But it looks like we've now moved from a 2-player to a 1-player situation. Okay, looks like the issue was CI2. I'm not entirely sure what happened on CI2. We did see the players starting at different times, so I think there might be a disagreement as to what should have been done on that. So just waiting on this one, see what's going to happen. So yeah, so anybody who's watching Super Mario Kart TT1 tries and thinks playing Mario Kart time trials looks like a really fun thing to do, if you head over to mariokartplayers.com/smk, as you can see in the bottom right of the screen, that's the main hub for Super Mario Kart time trials. We have leaderboards for both the PAL and NTSC version of the game, and you can join with times from any official Nintendo release. So that's going to be on a Super Nintendo console itself, on the Wii Virtual Console, on the Wii U Virtual Console, or on the Switch release, as well as allowing a Super Nintendo Classic version. However, we don't allow non-Nintendo based emulators. There's about 600 people ranked on the NTSC leaderboard and 600 people ranked on the PAL leaderboard. At the moment, we've been showing players who are all ranked in the top 50 in this tournament. They're all in Division 1. Division 2 is going to be made up of some lower ranked players. And the first Division 2 match will follow on straight from this match, which involves Goomba NL, who is ranked around 200th, and Fire, who is, I think, new to SMK, but has rankings on various other Mario Karts, so I'm expecting them to at least be serviceable and hopefully have a good match there. I always find matches between slightly lower ranked players can be very entertaining because You don't quite see the level of near perfection, but you do get a situation where a crash is pretty much could be happening at any time. You can have wild lead swings. So we're getting to see Antistar demonstrating his time trial one try abilities on some of the other tracks. We're on MC2. He's demonstrating a safe line, which will probably get him a 117. There is a technique called long boosting, which is a bit faster, but a lot more risky. Which he's not going for. He demonstrates a long boost on the very final boost. So you didn't really gain anything from that final long boost. You have to do it on the earlier laps and drive that long boost through a very large piece of sand to actually save time with it. Okay. Bit of a pause, not sure what's going on here. Yeah, Fire Waster. When I watch these very, very top players doing one tries, it's crazy how many of my PRs they beat. It's the same in Mario Kart 64 when we do the time trial one try competitions at the Euro meets. Players like Matthias, VAJ, Dan Luntzer, Dan Burbank when he attends. Just seeing them absolutely crush my PRs on a one try, it's quite something. So Bowser Castle 3, one of the tracks where you have RNG involved in how good your run can be, because all those thwomps can be down. Now, Antistar was left a space, but he didn't drive through it. He hit the thwomp, came to a stop, and then got smacked on the head by one of the other thwomps coming down, and you get to see that lovely pancake animation. If you get hit at the wrong angle, that pancake animation can actually wave over and drop you in the lava as well. That usually happens when you get squashed by the outside of the thwomps. So this is probably one of the most difficult tracks to do. As you see there, Antistar hitting a thwomp because you want to start turning before you make the jump, so you're kind of going sideways as you go through those thwomps. So it's very easy to just clip one of them as you're trying to go through. Most of these holes are just wide enough for you to go through, but if you're trying to go through them while driving sideways at the same time, it becomes a lot more difficult. Those hops over the little bumpers by the lava, each one of them saves time. Every time you hit the bumper, you lose a little bit of speed, so by jumping every single bit of lava, you'll save a lot of time, but fall in once and you'll lose 7 seconds. Cooper Beach 1. Basically just turn right. Simple. Just driving around in a circle. All you have to do is try and maintain full speed and avoid the fish. So the way the players are going to be maintaining full speed is by doing something called a water slide, where if you jump into the water, as long as you're in a slide animation, you don't slow down. As soon as the kart straightens up, you'll start losing speed, unless you've already generated enough speed, enough turn to go into a boost. Let's see. So when done well, this track can be done in low 50 seconds. this isn't the track being driven well by Antistar. Oh, and there's a drown. And I'm just getting a bit of buffering going on at the moment. Gonna restart the stream. And 112 by Antistar. So Daniel plays 3. This is a track I very much like in one try, though it becomes exponentially more difficult the more boosts you try and put into it. So the strat which Antistar is using here is not an easy one to do. The difference between driving a 119 and a 123 on this track is kind of night and day in terms of how hard it is to do. And there you see the risk of how Antistar takes that gap. You see he's already turning well before he starts jumping over the water. And he just slid out a little bit too wide on his turn. And even though he cleared the little gap, he jumped straight into the dark water. So TT 1 try, it's time trials, 1 try. So the 2 players are meant to be playing the same track at the same time. They have only 1 attempt, so if they miss a zoom start they can't reset. The player with the fastest time on the track gets a point, and they play through all 20 tracks, so there's 20 points on offer. Unfortunately, we've had a forfeit in this match, so Antistar is just going to be going through the remaining tracks in essentially a one-person demonstration. But since he's no longer racing another person, it doesn't really matter how much he crashes, just that he gets to the end. So there will be another match following this one in about 25 minutes time, and that's going to be between Goomba NL, the NL indicating he's Dutch, and Goomba NL, for anybody who is familiar with the Mario Kart series, is the current Mario Kart Double Dash world #1 player, and he's going to be going up against Theistfire, player who I'm not particularly familiar with, but I do know is active in other Mario Karts. That's going to be a Division 2 match. So it should be interesting to see what's going on. I'm not sure if that was an attempt to cheat by Antistar there. There are some things you can do with finish lines in this game to lap advance, which are banned in the tournament, or whether he just jumped out for no reason. Or maybe he was going for a fast lap. It could be that he had such a good lap he wanted to go for the fast lap finish just to see what the time is. I'm gonna say that's it. So we'll take a look at the lap time and see what he got. Anything in the low 10 seconds would indicate that it was a very good lap he did. Actually, I don't even know what the power time is. 11:36. Okay, so it wasn't a very good fast lap. So if you want to see when the upcoming matches are, there's a link in chat. It'll show you the current bracket. I think that links to the Division 1 bracket, which should have groups A and B in it. I'm not sure if there's a separate link for Division 2 or whether that's on that same challenge as well. And there's a link to the actual schedule, so you can see when any upcoming matches are scheduled, what channel they'll be on, and who's playing. So Donut Plains 2. This is a track which flows really, really well. It's almost like they designed this track to be driven with boosting in mind. All the corners just flow so beautifully one from another to another. And I say that in the PAL version of the game. In the NTSC version, the corners just all seem a little bit janky and don't flow anywhere near as nice. I'm not normally one who advocates PAL over NTSC, but this is one of the tracks where I much prefer the PAL version. Getting a nice little demonstration of how to go around corners and how to boost off-road by Antistar here. Looks like he's going to get a 129. 129.19. It's a safe time. He had a bit of an issue on lap 2, dropping just over a second there, but everything else was nice and solid. It looks like he's going to play Ghost Valley 3. There's a platform jump on this track. Some people say it's the easiest platform jump in the game. In reality, I don't think it's that easy. There we saw Antistar hitting the platform jump absolutely no problem. And we've got all these holes all over the track where you want to be hopping over them because that's the fastest line. So this track has plenty of opportunities to visit the void, as Antistar has just demonstrated. Perfect timing, congratulations. Some of the hairpins as well are very kind of tight, where if you start your turn even the slightest bit too early, you'll bonk into the sides and come to a full stop. So this track has had some very, very big results in Super Mario Kart World Championships gone by, especially in the time trial one try competition. It seems to be a track where either everybody plays it flawlessly or everybody makes horrendous mistakes all over the place. It's almost like the first mistake is contagious amongst the participants. I think we had it in one quarterfinal one year where something like 5 or 6 of the players all fell off the track at least once. And then the next year you'll get it and every single player will stay on and get a 117. It's also the track I've been playing for PRs on in the last week or so, and I very much dislike it. So let's see what fast lap we got in there. 14.94. That actually beats my PR. My PR is a 14.97. So just seeing Antistar casually beat my fast lap PR in the middle of a one-try race. Yeah. He may not have played much in the last few years, but class is permanent in this game. Like he was the world #1 for quite a while. That was in PAL and NTSC. So many world records. He's won the TT one try championships at the Super Mario Kart World Championships twice, and he may be down to world #4 now, but he's still very, 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 very proficient at this game. I hope he'll put some practice in as the tournament goes on, because an Antistar at his best will be right up there as a possible winner. Obviously, with the forfeit of his opponent, it doesn't really matter what time he drives around these tracks in at the moment, so I think he's just going for some random fast lap attempts, which is why you're seeing him crashing quite a lot, because he's not particularly worried about what time he gets overall. I think he's just trying to do some swag strats and try and get some really quick laps in. It didn't succeed on that track though. Pretty much every single one of those laps had big mistakes in. And we're Bowser Castle 1. It's a deceptively difficult track, this. Some of the thwomp positionings are quite difficult. So on lap 1 the thwomps are all up, you have a clear track. On laps 2 to 5 they start dropping down, and whether they're up and down at any particular time is complete RNG. So you kind of have to react sometimes, because the fastest line sometimes will take you underneath a thwomp, so if that thwomp's down you'll have to go around it. And you have 6 lava hops you have to do each lap, and it's very easy to hop either slightly too soon and jump straight into the lava, or hop a little too late, hit the bumper and lose speed, and then try and hop the next one, but with the reduced speed you end up just jumping straight into the lava. This is a track in my one tries. I don't think I've ever driven it clean in my life. Every World Championship one try tournament I've attended, I've made some sort of horrific mistake on it, which is usually me jumping straight into the lava on one of these lava hops. So let's see what fast lap attempt Antistar can get. I didn't quite see how good lap 4 was. It looked like it was his best lap so far. I think he missed a boost in lap 5, but it's been nice and tight for the rest of it. We're going to see a 17.6x lap time in there. 17.57, 17.61. Wow. Those last 2 laps really worth fast. So Vanilla Lake 2. That not give the score. This is a difficult track to say the least, especially if you go madman routes like Antistar is trying to demonstrate. So there are safer routes you can go on this track, but there's no real need for safety at the moment for Antistar. He can kind of demonstrate some of the more swaggy strats. That line there was a safer line, but I think that was just to get back up to full speed. We might see something a bit more swaggy going on. No, he's just maintaining speed. That's a nice start. Let's see if he's going to go. Going to go big? No. Just maintaining speed still. I say just. I mean, maintaining speed on this track is not easy. He was going to go for a big finish. You're going through like a 1 cart width, which is about 5 towers long, and you're trying to turn the cart in that little gap in those ice blocks. It's, unless you're on the perfect line, you'll just turn and bonk straight into them. He was trying to do a strat demonstration of something which I've never successfully pulled off. If I'm correct, I think there's still 2 tracks to go. You've got Ghost Valley 2. I'm trying to think what else we haven't had. Rainbow Road. So there's a platform jump on Ghost Valley 2. You can see it just there. It's the platform jump of the 3 Ghost Valleys that saves by far the least amount of time, but it's still very difficult to do. So it'll be interesting to see if we get a demonstration of it from Antistar on any of these laps. I think it's the same width as the Ghost Valley 1 platform jump, but you also want to be turning while you're doing it, so it makes it the most difficult of all the Ghost Valley platform jumps. So Usually only a complete and utter madman would go for it in a one-try situation. But this is basically a free demonstration for Antistar here. Yeah, he's lining it up, got the boost, did the hop, didn't quite make it over. So in risking to try and save about 0.3 of a second, you lose like 5 or 6 seconds from falling off and waiting to be put back down and then accelerating back to speed. But it's enough to win the track. Okay, 8 seconds for that fall off. So, for anyone out there who's wondering how to play Ghost Valley, the best way to play it is to not fall off. A strat which can equally be applied to Rainbow Road. So the fastest lines on this is to be hopping over the edges, but one missed timing and you're hopping straight into the void. And lap 2 onwards, the thwomps are going to start dropping down. And these aren't any ordinary thwomps, these are invincible thwomps. So if you touch them at all, you'll spin out. This is a very difficult track, especially in GP mode for the beginners and people who are trying to unlock 50cc. Beating Rainbow Road on Special Cup 100cc is quite often the barrier to them being able to unlock the 150cc mode. Sorry. Since you have to get gold in all the cups on 100cc to unlock 150cc. But so far this is an excellent demonstration of how to drive Rainbow Road by Antistar. Just 1 lap to go. It looks like he's on a very low 128 pace. Maybe something around a 128.3. Wow, nearly sub 128. That's crazy for a one try. And that consistency, 17.55, 53, 55, 57. Lap 1 is always going to be a little slower because you start behind the start line, and with the start boost you accelerate up to full speed. Wow, that was an absolute excellent demonstration by Antistar. Marking is done. So that's going to be the end of this race. I believe Antistar is probably going to jump off over into the French commentary for a quick chat over there. And in about 10 minutes time, we'll be back with the third match of the evening, which is Goomba NL, who is the Mario Kart Double Dash current world #1. Moving over to SMK for this time trial one try tournament, and they'll be up against Thice Fire, somebody I'm not too familiar with, but who I know has played a lot of other Mario Kart games. So that's going to be a Division 2 match, so it should be quite entertaining to watch. But for me, it's going to be good night. Not going to kill the stream because that kills the French comps. So I'll catch you later.